Rock on, Phil, my fave IRL member. Oh.
Cheers. Thank you, Will.i.am. I appreciate it, man.
Okay, I want to say who's your favorite IRL guest lately? And I want to know your least favorite, but maybe that's not a diplomatic question.
Oh, well, you know, my least favorite was Jackson Hinkle. uh, or maybe my least favorite was either Jackson Hinkle or it was Destiny. Because, like, not that I was on with Destiny, but Destiny and I had some words on the internet post his thing. But or it was Jackson Hinkle, which again wasn't really on with him, but we had some words post his appearance and stuff. So that was
Ooh,
those
what
are my
kind of
least favorites.
words? Were they
Oh well,
public?
it was on the it was yeah, it's on Twitter. There's no I don't do any, like, I don't worry about hiding stuff or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like everything for me is pretty much on blast. Like like anything embarrassing that I've ever said, like I don't go back and delete stuff. So if you go and look at my Twitter account, there's all of the embarrassing drunk shit I said 10 years ago when I used to drink and when I used to get shithoused and get on Twitter and just let it rip back in 2008 or 2009, 2010 when Twitter was the Wild West still. It's all still there. So
Okay, that's good.
and
So
and then my
what you
favorite,
said your big yeah, okay, your favorite, yeah.
I had a really good time when Thomas Massey was on. He's super cool. It was fun hang out. It's always fun to hang out with Alex Jones because he's crazy. So yeah, it's either Thomas Massey, either an actual serious politician, or crazy Alex Jones because he's awesome and crazy.
What does Alex drink or do before coming on the show? Like what does he like to drink?
He's kind of just normal. He's him, and I think he drinks. Like Jack and Coke or something like that. Is what I think
Yeah.
he usually drinks. But I mean, he's very similar on the show to when he's not on the show. At least, like when you're hanging out with him talking, he might be a little quieter. He's not quite as loud and boisterous, but he'll still talk about the same stuff and he'll still say the same things. Like he believes it. He's
Yeah, he's
Alex
not
Jones
just
is Alex
putting it
Jones.
on.
Yeah, it ain't a
What did
joke.
Massey drink?
Massey's the thing that I like about Massey, like he's an MIT guy, so he's super smart. He has built this huge, like his place in Kentucky, I think it is. But his place, he's put up videos of stuff that he's built. He took an old Tesla engine or Tesla battery and he turned that into his basically his power wall to run his house, and his whole house is run off a Tesla battery and it gets charged by the solar panels. And he's totally all homesteaded up with like the self-sufficiency stuff, and that's like stuff that I aspire to do someday. So just that stuff alone is super cool. But he's also like a really constitutional, libertarian Republican kind of dude, like the kind of Republican like Ron Paul was, or the libertarian like Ron Paul was, or Justin Amash kind of, or like it's very similar to the kind of stuff that Dave Smith would be behind, or who else? Yeah, Rand Paul. Those guys are like the dudes that I am like inspired by politically, because they're
What did he drink?
they're pretty edgy. I don't think that he was drinking. I don't remember what he was drinking. I don't think he was drinking. So I think it was probably just water. Most of the time it's just water. Like very rarely do we get partiers on. Yeah. It's only Lauren Southern. Lauren Southern comes on and gets boozy. So
really? I remember my friend Mike Carlo was on the show recently. I just said, "Hey, my only advice was like, don't get drunk." Like, and that's my advice to anybody who does any show. That's kind of a big deal. I'd be like,
it's true.
Just do not get, because you're anxious before, and you're like, your normal solution to that is drink. And it's like, I was like, have one, then stop, and then then maybe sip one throughout the show.
Especially, and like you and I, like we're probably used to that kind of thing because of the world that we come from. Like you as a performer and a comic, you're in bars and in comedy clubs and stuff. Me being a dude in a band, I'm played in theaters and bars and stuff like that. So it's like one thing that happens a lot is people that go to a normal job where they can't work, or they can't drink at work, they'll show up to like the party or whatever, and they'll be like in a spot where they can have a couple drinks or whatever, and so they're like, oh, it's time to go, and they have like 3 drinks.
That's why Christmas parties are so messy, because people go hog wild. They go, all right, and then they finally tell the the receptionist how they feel, and it's just a whole mess, and
Yeah,
especially
HR
when
is
I
busy
was
for
the
the next month.
receptionist. Yes.
Like, so yeah, but that's happened more times than I can count. Someone shows up and like they show up at 2 or 3, and I'm like, what are you doing here? And they're like, oh, we're gonna come and hang out. I'm like, bro, the show ain't for like 6 hours or whatever. And then they're hammered by like 5 or 6. The doors aren't
Really?
even
Okay,
open.
so
There's in the
you'll
front
have
lounge,
guests
assed out on
that
the
show
on
up,
the
and you don't have to say who, but, like, yeah, worst behavior, like, I guess maybe you're describing it, show up very, very early and then get bombed.
just showing up and getting bombed is the bad behavior, and it's always like friends that you love dearly, right? It's because they wouldn't get on the bus if you didn't love them. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be backstage
Right.
if they weren't like people that you really care about and stuff. And so it's like these are people either that you care about or your people that you're on tour with really care about. So you don't want to be a jerk. You want to be nice. And then next thing you know, they're like, their faces on the couch and they're talking about their ex-wife, and then the little
Oh,
drools come,
no.
they're gonna puke or whatever. It's like, oh, buddy, you gotta chill out. But that happens all the time. And same thing can happen, like people go on to a podcast, it's like, or they go to a social event where they actually are going to be filmed or whatever. And it's like, oh, well, I'm hanging out, forget the cameras are on, hanging out, drinking. Next thing you know, they say something that is out of the pocket or whatever, and they ruin their life because they're normies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are some faux pas, like, things you don't have to say who's guilty of them, but, from your time on TimCast, like, kind of like things that you go,
Yeah,
"Ugh," or, you know?
well, what the thing is with Tim's show, the only time that happens, or the only thing that makes me do that is like when someone says something that has to get the show taken off. So if someone makes an allusion to violence or something, like they say something about, whatever, because it's political and it gets heated, people will make, certain jokes that we can make on Twitter, about like arborism, like arborist jokes, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Yes,
But like
wood
you don't want
chipper
to make.
joke
Yeah,
or like,
that's exactly what that's. See, I don't want to go ahead and say it here because I'm used to not
yeah.
saying it, But like, yeah, it'll be like, or helicopter jokes, commies don't fly or whatever kind of thing, and then that has to go. You can't have that on YouTube. You can't
Oh,
make those jokes.
man.
You can't say, because it's not like where, like in this context right here, we're talking about it, right? Whereas on Tim's show, they invariably come out as well, I'm frustrated with those people, so, and it's like, whoa, buddy, now we got to dump it, now we got to stop. And so those are always like the worst things that get said on Tim. Otherwise, it's like, I mean, we can get, there's not really topics that we can't or don't cover, or we can't or won't talk about. I mean, even like, as much as like that people love to like scream about Israel, it's like we have people from the Gray Zone on. We've had them on multiple times to talk about Israel. So like people will say, oh, you don't talk about Israel. And it's like, dude, we have like some of the most critical of Israel critics on, but the really thing, what they want is they want Nick Fuentes to come on to flame Jewish people.
Oh, wow, okay.
So
Would Tim ever
that's
have him on, or has Nick ever been on?
he was on with Kanye,
Oh, right, wow.
which was hilarious. But that whole thing was hilarious. But but yeah, there's not really a cringe thing that people can't say. It's like, it's just the stuff that YouTube won't let people say, and that's the stuff that we're just like, no, you can't say that.
But don't you guys have, like, a powwow? I've only done it once, I don't really remember, but isn't there, like, a little bit of a pre-show powwow where you go, "Okay, don't say these things, don't allude to these things."
Tim, there are fewer things now, because before there were things about the vaccine that would get you booted or make
Yeah,
YouTube drop you. Now I don't know if there are still things about the vaccine or about the about COVID that you can't say anymore. I don't think so, but we don't, like, Tim
like
doesn't
so.
say that anymore. It's
Yeah,
the little powwow he's like, yeah, just don't say any allusions to violence, don't threaten to kill anyone or whatever. It's like, but other than that, we try and keep it family friendly because it's 8 p.m. and parents watch with their kids. But if something slips, it's not the end of the world. So that's
right.
about the long and short of it. Then, but for the last for 45 minutes before we start, we're all kind of hanging out in the studio talking about like whatever, whether it be what we're going to talk about, a lot of times it's been like going over what we're gonna just like what the topics are, because it's been like oddly quiet, because I feel like it's because the people that are going to be in the running for president, that like that's already decided. It's very early to
Mm.
have both
Yes, it's
candidates
a
have.
bit of a long primary season,
Yeah,
unusually long.
yeah.
That's what they say.
So it's like it's already baked in. So we're just and they're not doing anything. Like they're not getting together for any kind of debates or whatever. Like Biden is hiding as much as he can. Donald Trump's busy in the courts in New York or whatever. So the actual news that's coming out is not really, there's not a whole ton of stuff. So that's what the
True.
last hour that we normally do. We just talk about what is going on in the day. Hey, what are going to be the topics? And if there's a couple, if we have too many, we'll be like, all right, well, this is the order, and this we won't talk about, or this we will in the after show. But that's the kind of thing. So
That makes sense. Oh, Fealty sent a message. TimCast IRL. Oh, I did not pay Fealty to say this, by the way. TimCast IRL needs a pre and post Prager Chrissy live IRL. Water breaking would be metal. Haha. Yes, every
I
the last couple of shows I've done, I have threatened to break my water over people. Thank you, Fealty. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Come and get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.